Hey guys, Chris from Provo Beast Audio Installation, and in today's video we're doing a backup camera on this 2012 Jeep Liberty. Now in this install we're going to show you how to integrate this camera to an existing aftermarket radio. Let's get started. So here at the bench, the camera kit that we're using in the install today is this Natica license plate mountable camera kit. It comes with this bracket. We can use the license plate studs to mount this camera without any need to drill into the rear hatch of the Jeep. Nice thing is, it comes with this nice big bundle of wire here. One end of this harness will plug into the camera, the other end goes up to the radio, and also includes an integrated power harness. Comes with a panel tool and everything that you'll need for the install. So with this camera kit, you can generally install it in two different ways. You can either power the camera directly off the reverse light, power and ground, or you can power this camera on accessory in the event your radio has the option to call upon the camera at any time. So without further ado, with this camera kit ready to go, let's go ahead and start planning our install by disassembling the rear inside of the hatch so we can start feeding our wire from the license plate area into the cabin of the vehicle. Alright, so we fed our wire through that grommet as you saw. We just put a little slice in it so it wouldn't pinch the wire, so the wire could still be within the grommet itself. Reseated the grommet and actually got our thing all remounted, reseated, put the two 10mm nuts in and reseated the clips on each side here. That mounts there great, and there's a perfect little space to run our wiring up through there. So that's all done. So that wire comes down. And now here is kind of the junction where it connects into our harness adapter. We made that, we'll have extra wire here. Now, this is where your install may vary depending on the way that you install your camera. We've decided to install our camera off accessory. Now, on this end, there's a red wire here, and there's also a red wire off the RCA end. And those run in parallel. Easily just hook this to power and ground at the reverse light. What we're gonna do, instead of just powering the camera momentarily only when the vehicle is backing up, is we're gonna actually not connect this end and rather connect the end on the RCA and connect that into camera power. And then we'll simply just ground the camera back here. And that's gonna allow the camera to be on when the vehicle is running, so we can use the camera more than just in reverse. So a ground that we found here is commonly on Jeeps. Black with a gray or white-ish stripe is going to be a ground. You'll see there's quite a few grounds up and around in here. You just need to find the one that works for us. This guy here will work perfect for us. This is a nice ground. And so what we'll do is ground our black wire there. We're not going to hook up our red wire today on this end because we're going to power it from the other end. And we've run that down. We zip tied that all along here. Now, this is a seated connection. We don't want to modify that, so we went through this hole, fished it down into here. Now we need to work our wire through this rubber corrugated tubing so we can get it inside the cabin of the vehicle. This is going to be probably the hardest part of your install. So we're going to try to lube up our wire, get it nice and slippery so we can slip that on through there pretty easily. All right, so what we've done here is we taped our wire to a hanger metal rod so we can fish that through our grommet. Now we're going to lube it up really well with some soap and water, and with that tape there, it should allow it to pass on through pretty easily. Okay, so we soldered that up there. We went ahead and put some electrical tape. We also put a little piece of heat shrink on the end that we're not using here. And we'll just finish zip tying this extra up here so it's nice and tight with this harness. That's all done. We fed that on through. You can pull this on out so you can have access. And with this out and flexible, run our wire all the way down here. We're going to pop this pedal up temporarily so we can go up underneath it and work our way forward towards the radio cavity. So we continue just tucking up underneath the panel all the way down. You can't totally remove panels. Since this is a single wire and it's about the size of an 18 gauge wire, it is just fine to just slip up underneath just using the tuck method. We're working our way forward here. The wires out there, we'll just keep tucking towards the radio cavity. So we continue tucking it along, just tuck, 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 all the way down. Continue up. Now, there's a little cool trick here to run your wiring across. You can actually just give this a tug. This will come on down. And it gives you the access needed. So we ran our wire up the kick panel, zip tied it to existing wiring here, and then fed it right up into the dash cavity. All right, so we're back here in the car. We are ready now to start making our final connections. So we fished our backup camera wire up in here into the dash. Super easy on this Liberty to do that. We had a little extra, so we just bundled it there. Now, this wire is going into the reverse camera RCA input on the back of the radio. Not AV, but you want the reverse camera input. And this, remember the other red wire that ran in parallel with this back in the tailgate? Well, we capped that off because we're going to power the camera using this. So we're going to send our accessory power into this wire, basically repurposing this wire to power our camera. Now, generally speaking, this is usually used for reverse trigger wire to trigger the radio to go in reverse. But this specific Jeep actually generates that through the harness adapter, through the smart harness, because the reverse trigger, it runs through the CAN bus of the vehicle. So this can decode that and provide a reverse gear trigger. So in this Crux module, it provides a purple white wire trigger wire output, and we wired it into the radio's purple white wire trigger input, so it automatically will cycle over the radio to reverse when the car is backing up. So we don't have to run a separate trigger wire. It's all done automatically through the smart harness. So be sure to get a smart harness with your radio. Don't just get the generic harness without the smart module. Obviously here you didn't see us remove the radio here or assemble the smart harness, because we did that in our first video where we pulled out the factory unit, we went over to the bench, got everything soldered up and dash kit assembled on the new radio, and now we're back here to get everything reinstalled. So check that video on out, we'll link it down in the description for you. So what we need to do is grab this little red wire, and on our radio actually has a 12 volt power output for the camera. The Boss generally does that. Boss, Planet Audio, SSL, they do that there. So we're going to power that. If you didn't have that, you can simply just tap into the red wire in your smart harness here. Just tee into that accessory wire, and that'll power that as well. Okay, we crimp that in there. So that'll power the camera. Again, if you don't have a power for the camera, just tap into the red wire of your accessory harness adapter. Now this end plugs into the radio. So let's go ahead and get this reinstalled. Alright, so with the radio back in, let's do a final test here. Let's put it in reverse. Now it automatically cycles over to the reverse image, which is awesome. We'll pull it out of reverse. It goes right back to our source. Now, because we wired the camera in accessory, not just on reverse power, if we hit the camera button, it'll pull up the camera image for us, even when not reverse, which is super convenient. Go back out. So that is it. If you have any questions on what we did here, go ahead and post a comment below. And like mentioned before, if you want to see this radio install, we'll link that video down in the description. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to hit the like button if you liked what you saw. And don't forget to subscribe. We post great content on the channel all the time. And we will see you in the next video.